One man, one mission, to rid the world of chronic anxiety once and for all. The Anxiety Guy, Dennis Simsek, shares his personal transformation from living a life filled with overwhelming worry to becoming a full-fledged positivity machine, a leading authority in generalized anxiety. Dennis gets to the truth of your mental health challenges and sets you on a path to transforming each and every area of your life. Here he is, the one and only, the Anxiety Guy.
I welcome all of you to episode number 253. You are listening to the Anxiety Guy podcast, and I am with you today, Dennis Simsek. Boy, do I feel grateful today. And in this episode, I want to discuss the transition of moving away from anxiety and into inner trust. Before I get into it, I want you to know that this podcast episode is brought to you by the End the Anxiety program, which you can find at theanxietyguy.com. Begin your healing starting today, theanxietyguy.com, the End the Anxiety program. And warriors, we begin this very important podcast episode with a reminder from Louise Hay. Louise Hay reminds us that anxiety is a distrust in the unfolding of life. A distrust in the unfolding of life. And if you look at yourself and you're honest with yourself right now, you can see that you do distrust in the unfolding of life. Anything new, anything unknown, anything that may cause you some icky feelings or icky thoughts, you don't trust. And therefore, we find ourselves doing the same things every single day, thinking the same thoughts every single day, hanging out with the same people every single day, doing the same job every single day. Why? Because consistency to us equals certainty, which equals safety. But the truth is that on this path towards trusting in the unfolding of life, there are a few phases. Phase 1 reminds us of courage. Courage, the way I see courage in the path towards healing anxiety and total transformation, begins with cleaning up your past. And as I mention in F Coping Start Healing, the book on Amazon, it starts with reframing. To resolve past hurts during regression work, and discharge the energies that you've been carrying within and taking out on things happening in the present moment. Notice that everything we do today is just a result of what happened to us yesterday. We take out our angers, our frustrations, our fears on what's going on in the present moment when in fact it's just a bag. It's a bag of emotions that we've suppressed over time, that we haven't dealt with, fears that we haven't really resolved. And now in this present moment, you think it's your job, you think it's your family, you think it's somebody or something that happened, when in fact it's not. It's just compounded over time. It's like a volcano that wants to explode, but it can't. You don't know how. Society says suppress, suppress, suppress. Don't show your emotions or you're weak. As men, we grew up through our fathers saying, to cry equals weakness. And you should never cry. And you should never show weakness to your opponents. Whatever sport or whatever that was that you were involved in. This is not right. You must have the courage to resolve your past. And don't think that just because you can't consciously remember your past that you've resolved it. That's not resolving. Resolving your past means looking directly at the very experiences and people that began the snowball of anxiety in your life. Altering the perception over what happened, the perception over this person, building a new relationship with that past experience, building a new relationship with that past person and say, you know what, I forgive you. I don't forgive you in my mind, I forgive you in my heart. And therefore, because I feel that it's real, I know that my future will be different than my past. So we must have the courage to go back and resolve what needs to be resolved. We must have the courage to respond, responding in the moment of fear and sensitivity. To have the courage to mentally and behaviorally go another direction than what's been the automated way of reacting to your fears and sensitivities. You need moments of courage, not a lot. You just need moments. But we fear courage because we fear the unknown. And the only thing that's going to be the result of this courage is that your life gets better. Courage takes a willingness to sacrifice familiarity. I'm going to say that again for you. Courage takes a willingness to sacrifice familiarity. So my question to you is this: are you ready to sacrifice what's been familiar in your life? Because if you're 99% ready, you're not ready. If you're 110% ready, then you're ready to sacrifice familiarity for something better. And after we gain the courage to reframe, the courage to respond, we move into cooperation, a sense of togetherness between the inner child mind and the adult mind. To learn more about the inner child mind, I just made a video on YouTube, so subscribe to the Anxiety Guy YouTube channel and check out that video today. If the inner child mind says, don't step out of your comfort zone, the adult mind must gently show the child mind that the unknown zone is in fact safe. Cooperation between these two minds reflects in the flow that you experience as you go through the day. The fighting and the will to prevent something bad from occurring no longer is there. Instead, a welcoming of whatever the day brings shows up. So this level of cooperation within you must be felt, not just thought about. The inner child mind that's directly connected to the subconscious mind, and the adult mind directly connected to your analytical, logical, and rational mind must work together. Your emotions and your thinking must work together. They must be congruent in order for you to heal. And guess what? You're not going to heal overnight, so stop thinking that you are. This is going to take some time, as it does with everybody. When we have that cooperation, we move towards confidence. Our confidence begins growing. You are beginning to question your old habits. You're beginning to question the way we all live our lives. You're beginning to grow confidence in letting go and becoming your true, authentic, unique, and divine self again. Confidence equals trust. Confidence doesn't show up at the beginning of the messy journey that we call anxiety recovery. It arises as we understand more deeply at a heart level, and we shift who leads our lives from overthinking and the intellect to the voice of our hearts and our intuition. We lost our intuition many years ago. We stopped trusting it. We have a sense of what's real and what we know, and we question it. That's why you hear so many anxiety sufferers continuously ask, how do I do something? You already know how to do that thing. You just don't trust what you know. You don't trust it because you feel like you need to overthink it. And the more you overthink it, the less you trust yourself. Therefore, you go about each and every day not believing that you could come up with the answers to your own questions. So you constantly look for anybody else to rely on, everybody and anybody, thinking that you can't do this journey on your own. But the truth is that you can. When these phases are in place, we have what we call an awakening. Yes, I'm a big believer in connecting anxiety recovery to a spiritual path. And if that connects to you, then great. And if it doesn't, I'll see you in the future. With this awakening, you can finally see. And as you look back on your life, you realize how blind you've been. You've been caught up, and now you can let go. You have faith in a future that isn't here yet, and the same wonder you had at childhood begins overtaking your analytical mind. Oh, that wonder. Oh, that curiosity. Oh, the feeling of being free again. This awakening strengthens your trust in uncertainty, since everything is uncertain anyway, and control is as much a delusion as anything else is. You were born to be free and not live a contained and safe life. Your thriving survival, as well as ours as a collective, depends on what you do today and how you decide to take on this day. So decide to focus more on the good around not knowing rather than the discomfort over not knowing, and you will build your trust. Warrior, remember that you are more than anxiety. You're on this healing path. Keep going. If you have any other questions on the End the Anxiety program, head on over to theanxietyguy.com. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.
Thanks for being an important part of the Anxiety Guy podcast community. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a positive rate and review. If you're searching for further support on your road to recovery from anxiety, head over to anxietyexit.com and take part in the powerful End the Anxiety program based around the CBT model. If you're searching for a more one-on-one approach, you can sign up now for personal coaching sessions with Dennis via Skype. Remember, you are more than anxiety. See you in the next episode.